is the Celebrity Afterlife Report podcast.
Hello and welcome once again to another edition of the Celebrity Afterlife Report. I am your host, the Celebrity Medium. I've gone over the information given to me over the past week by my Next World informants, and I have a roundup of what I think is the juiciest, most up-to-the-minute gossip about your favorite deceased celebs. With that intro out of the way, let's jump right into the deep end of the pool. Ernie Banks, career-long star of the Chicago Cubs and member of the Baseball Hall of Fame, transitioned to the afterlife this week, and he landed smack dab in the middle of some controversy. As I've told you on previous editions of the report, the legendary Babe Ruth has been working for some time now as a morning drive shock jock on Heaven 107, one of the Next World's most popular radio stations. Many refer to Ruth as the Howard Stern of the afterlife, although, according to the reports I have heard, he's far raunchier than Stern on Howard's best day. Ruth has turned down numerous offers from the late George Steinbrenner to join the boss's new Yankees team, which already boasts such players as Mickey Mantle, Roger Maris, and Joe DiMaggio, in order to stay as the host of the Babe and His Bullpen show. As soon as word spread that Banks had arrived in the Next World, the Bambinos started right in on him. My sources say that Ruth and his cast made fun of everything from Banks's age, 84, when he died, to his height and race. Critics say that Ruth was being incredibly disrespectful, while supporters say it's just what Ruth and his show do every morning, and it was all in good fun. For his part, when he heard about them, Banks took the jokes in stride. "No, I'm not upset," he said when asked if he was offended. "Life's too short for that," unquote. Rumor has it that Ruth has invited Banks to come on the show, and that, incredible as it may seem, Mr. Cub has accepted the offer. As regular listeners know, Judy Garland has been trying to build a women-only community in the afterlife. That plan, which was thrown into chaos when male construction workers refused to work on the project, was resurrected when Fred Trump, father of the Donald, offered to loan her some of his workers. Then came the shocking news that Fred had proposed marriage to Garland, despite the fact that she was said to be male-averse due to her multiple earthly plane divorces. I can now give you not one but two updates to this crazy ongoing story. First is that we now know the name of the planned community. If and when it is ever completed and open to residents, it will be known as New Garland. Whether or not that is to distinguish it from Garland, Texas, a city of some 200,000 plus people, I do not know. Personally, I was rooting for the name Garlandia. Secondly, Ms. Garland has announced that she and Trump, whose proposal she accepted a week ago, will run the town as co-mayors. Now that came as a shock to people, especially women in the Next World, since, as I just told you, the whole idea of the town was to be for females only. Next World radical lesbians are said to be disappointed and furious with Garland, who they saw as an ally, but who they now consider a traitor to their cause. According to newspaper reports, the Wizard of Oz star is digging the heels of her ruby slippers in, saying that she is going ahead with the project as planned, that her fiance will run the town with her, and that nothing anyone says is going to make her change her mind about that. As reported right here last week, the announced wedding between movie star slash pinup girl Marilyn Monroe and pop artist Andy Warhol is definitely off. The two called it quits when actress Donna Douglas, who played Ellie Mae on the Beverly Hillbillies, asked Marilyn for permission to play the blonde bombshell in a movie about her life. Monroe was all for it, but Warhol was dead set against it. The two had a heated argument in public over the issue, and Marilyn soon called it quits for the relationship, which some had called the strangest in all of the Afterlife. No sooner had Monroe announced that she was back on the market than legendary promoter P.T. Barnum, from whom we haven't heard much in recent months, revealed that he had signed her to star in a new reality TV show entitled A Night with Marilyn. According to the press release for the show, each episode will feature 3 eligible bachelors who sit behind a screen hidden from Monroe, a la The Dating Game. Marilyn will ask them questions, and the one she chooses will win, you guessed it, A Night with Marilyn. The title of the show, Barnum admitted to an entertainment reporter, is designed to titillate. All the winners are guaranteed is a date with Monroe. What happens between them, says the showman, stays between them. The show is set to debut in the next few weeks. Lastly, former televangelist Jerry Falwell is back in the news, at least in the Afterlife. Falwell has announced plans to construct a large sign similar to the iconic Hollywood sign in Los Angeles on top of a hill overlooking one of the next world's big cities. The sign, which is planned to be illuminated at night by spotlights, will read Holy Land. Falwell's announcement started an immediate firestorm of protest from people who object to his planned use of public property. As I've explained in previous editions of the report, there is no formal religion in the Afterlife. Falwell seems determined to change that, however, and his opponents seem equally determined to keep him from doing that. This story is definitely going to be one to watch as it develops. Okay, that kicks it in the head for this edition of the Celebrity Afterlife Report. Please come back next week for another roundup of the most up-to-the-minute gossip about all your favorite deceased celebrities. And tell your friends that the report is now available on iTunes. I am the Celebrity Medium. Thanks for listening.
You've been listening to the Celebrity Afterlife Report podcast. To ask a question about your favorite deceased celebrity, call 818-3-MY-DREAM. 818-3-MY-DREAM. 818-369-3732.